And I am on the air. It is Friday, March 8th, 2019. Make sure that's working on that side and it looks good. Welcome to all of you. I hope an interesting weekend coming up here. Hopefully, weather permitting. I will be down in Oakland tomorrow to be back on International Boulevard again, and this time we'll be gone. We've had our warm-up. We've had our shakedown run. Hey, try me. How are you, honey? Harvey, you don't have to worry about anything on there. I mean, all it said was Petra, the city of stuff. Hey, Sean, how you doing? Cobra John, how are you? Mrs. Crafty. There we go. Vegas Vixen. How you doing, honey? Nice to see you, Harvey. Uber Goober lady, nice to see you. Just riding around today, enjoying your hangout. Hello, Happy Meal. How are you? Oh, thank you. It's all blustery today. It's windy, it's chilly, but at least we got a little bit of sunshine for a while. Boardroom, how you doing, honey? Nice to see you. Got Sam in the house. Yeah, hopefully it's going to be a good weekend. Last week was kind of down in Oakland. It was kind of a shakedown for me to see how it would go. Let me do one thing real quick. I want to plug in. Hey, Papa Grizz, how you doing? I want to plug in this gimbal. Vinny is suggesting that I use this for more stabilization down there. How you doing, Cassidy? Nice to see you, honey. See if I can get that on. And of course, you can use this. Let me turn this off. I'm going to have to charge this up for more stabilized video. Let me show you how this works. I got to turn it off first. Problem is, you carry a lot of gear, you become conspicuous, and then, you know, it's like we used to study in business school. When you pay attention to something, all of a sudden you change the dynamics. And when people see you with some big video or camera gear, then you lose your spontaneity. You know, you kind of lose your, got to balance this thing a little bit. This is the DJI Osmo 2, and it does make smoother footage. Let's see how that's going to go now. Anyway, it needs a reset and a charge. There we go. And what that does is it keeps your, no matter what you're doing, it keeps your footage smoother on there. Hi, Liz. How are you? You made it to 30 degrees. The problem is with this kind of setup, all of a sudden you're looking bulkier. Plus, I have to carry another selfie stick that has the tripod on it. But the upside to this is you have buttery smooth footage out there on the street. The downside is you're almost starting to begin to carry a movie studio with you. This needs to be fully charged. This is why when I get on the road with live streaming in different cities and towns in the US, and I have the really good gear that allows you to have really solid bandwidth and really solid signal carry, that I'm carrying basically $3,000 worth of gear in a backpack with batteries and you know, you have to pay for multiple modems for different cell carriers. But the upside is you have absolutely perfect video footage. So I may try this tomorrow. I may carry this. It's a lot to carry around for hours to keep that in front of you. So just be aware of that. You know, so I think you might give that a try. So we'll see. Give me a second. I'm going to go throw this gimbal on the charger. These aren't bad. These are only like 99 bucks or something. So they're really good if you're going to use your cell phone for video. All right. Hey, Sean. I know I'm putting a huge target on my back. I know. I'm putting a huge target on my back by just carrying this shit on the street. You know? You see. I already had some problems last time, so let me just clear that. Let's make sure I'm good here. I know exactly what you mean, Sean. All right, there we go. Bergs, I got to talk to you too. I'm not sure which selfie stick. Let me get the other selfie stick. You're going to have to look it up on Amazon. Let me see. This thing doesn't have a name on it, unfortunately, and I can't remember. I've had it for a while. Hey, Imp, how you doing? Sorry if I missed anybody. Hey, Bergs. Is that the real Bergs? I don't know. Let me see. If that can somebody tell me, one of my mods, you're going to be selling your RV to buy a travel trailer. Write yourself a peaceful next couple of weeks. That's funny as shit. Hey, Mel, how you doing, honey? I did some modifications to this selfie stick here. Okay, let me just show Vegas Vixen just so you can see. You look up tripod selfie sticks. This is nice plastic. It's not the metal. You want to buy what I have. I only have a van. Okay, that's the fake Bergs. Okay. All right, thank you, Harvey. All right, this is really nice because if I'm in a restaurant or something, or just sitting down on a seat, you can just open up that tripod on the bottom and you can just sit your camera right there like we did last night. This one's starting to get a little worn out, so it actually starts to sink down. But you can actually set that thing up and have it work pretty good. Hey, Robin, how are you, sweeties? Thank you. Hey, BTB, nice to see you. Nice to see you. So it's nice to have. It collapses. If you want to use it like a traditional, you just close that, get it in front, and you got a pretty good distance. Now, remember, you look like a dick when you're on the streets, okay? So if you're going to be forward, and this is why I might get the new Galaxy S10, because it has a 120-degree field of, it's got a wide-angle lens. 90 degrees this one is, but 120 degrees takes it further. So you don't have to have the stick out so far if you're doing a selfie. You can probably bring it in tighter, which is good, because then you don't look like as much of a dick when you're walking on the streets. And when you're going forward, you can just keep that in tight, and it's no big deal because you got to be able to see what's going on the screen. Well, so do I, Papa Grizz. I always look like a dick, you know, but I'm saying, people say, how do you see the side chat? The side chat rolls on here. But the thing people have to understand when you're on the street, and there's a lot of things you got to be careful you don't get hit by cars. People just seem to drive like this in California, especially in big cities. So maybe they see you, maybe they don't. You know, so you got to be very careful. You got to be aware. You also have to know your surroundings. You have to be aware of, you're trying to make judgments all the time about whether somebody ahead is going to be a threat or whether it's going to be somebody that's cool. You know, you're always, you know, your mind's going a mile a minute. So you may not always be able to see every person on the side chat. And sometimes people get very upset when I miss their messages out on stream. So Yeah, this camera is outstanding at night. It has a f1.8 low light lens, which is excellent in low light conditions. But it also gives you guys a false sense of complacency that it's not as dark as it really is out there. It overlights up the street, so it's much darker to me than it appears to be for you, because my eyes are not f-point. They're not a very low focal aperture, 1.8. They're more like a 2.4 or something like that. So they're letting in less light than this does. Yeah, the downfall of the iPhone, the camera at night, you know, but this is, yeah. So yeah, Ella, you want to be really crazy. Yeah, the side chat's better in portrait. And what you mean by portrait is having that camera up and down like that and looking at it. But the problem is you miss half of the scene. You're letterboxing on each side. You're doing a VGA, you're doing a 4:3 instead of a 16:9. And on the horizontal, in the landscape mode, you'll have about 5 or 6 lines show up. But the upside is people have a much better viewing experience. And you have to decide whether you want that viewing experience to take precedence or following the side chat. Now, if I have it in portrait mode and I'm watching the side chat, I can see the side chat, but it's much smaller because it's putting more chat on. If I have it this way, I see less side chat, but it's bigger in size. And, you know, people just have to be a little forgiving. RB Daisies, I'm going to ride the gangbangers light rail through Phoenix to Arizona State University. I can't believe RB Davy, there's anything really bad in Phoenix. I don't even think it's relatable. Okay. Yeah, I think the gimbal might get me killed out there. Hey, Sherry. You know, this is low profile. If I go into a restaurant, I added this myself onto it. So when I go into a place initially, I can just put that on, have that hang like that, and the video is still streaming. So it's not so crazy. Now, when I get my better setup, it will be using my GoPro Hero 7, which has phenomenal stabilization, tied into the the streaming equipment I have. So it's going to use the external camera, which means I'll be able to have this camera walking along like this cell phone like this. Meanwhile, they have an external camera, maybe shoulder mounted or something like that, with beautiful stabilization to it. And then you're watching the side chat and interacting over here. But you're basically carrying a whole production studio on your back with, $1,000 worth of extra batteries. But the upside is you guys get phenomenal quality and with sharpness. So, I'm willing to do that for the month of April. Cesar, I just saw your video on Davey. Let's be real, friend. I welcome you to my channel, but I'm not a dope. Okay, Cesar, you're welcome to be here, but I'm not another one of these dopes on YouTube. I've been around. My merry-go-round's been around a few dozen times on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Mel, I got no idea what the hell the name of this is. It used to have a thing that mounted so you could take a pic, like a little Wi-Fi thing that you could take a pic, press that to take a picture. But just ask a tripod selfie stick. It's very good quality. It's not just the all metal piece of junk. Okay, thank you, Nathan. How are you? Okay, Cesar. Well, I'll go do a video of that on your channel. Okay, so then I'll believe. Okay, 'Cause I saw your video on Davy, and what the hell, man. Yeah, I wasn't born yesterday. I wasn't born in the morning, and so I might have been born in the morning, but not yesterday. Not yesterday morning. So yeah, so that's what I'm hoping to do. But yeah, Cesar, please don't assume I'm a dumbbell. Okay, I mean, let's be real. I like having you on the channel, but you know. I got my hands full already. Okay. I still haven't gotten a fix on RV Davy. I'm just keeping a respectful distance. And like I said, people are welcome on my chat as long as they behave, including panel people too. I know some people object to that, but to me, is if you're okay on panel, it's good. I'm not here to change people's behavior. And that's why 2019 has been a good year for me, because I no longer carry that burden of worrying about what comes out of other people's mouths. It's your responsibility as a watcher to click off of it if you don't want to see it, or unsubscribe and be done with it, because I set the terms of the way I want things to be on my channel. And this is why I always had that appearance of flip-flopping before, because I would close off people, then have people back, then close them off, and that's what really became the shit show on my channel. Okay, how you doing, Nicole? Nice to see you, honey. Yeah, 2019 is the year of the Chippendales, right? Yeah, I'm glad Nicole is back too. And she's a wrench holder in my chat, but she absolutely knows the way that I like to do things here. And she has the ability to separate her own feelings from somebody else's channel. And I think that that's a wonderful thing. I'm sticking here. I'm allowed, no law against. So I'm just saying, look, you're here. I don't, RV Davy, I'm not one to dig in and innuendo and fact-finding missions. That's not my thing on here. Okay, hey Ravens, how you doing? We're talking about the same Nicole. Thank you, Lynn. So I'm really happy to have her here. Hey Jody, I'm actually thrilled to have Nicole Green as somebody willing to hold a mod wrench in my chat, because it gives her a chance to get a little tippage action too, which is nice. I mean, a new theme going around is Rosie pays her mods, blah, blah, blah. I don't pay. People tip them out from the chat. Okay, let me fix this camera. All right, there we go. I like to add a little something of my own as a thank you to those people. Hey, Stickers, what's going on? Working in the OWN program. Yeah, I mean, I have every confidence. Let me make sure that thing's coming back up. Yeah. There we go. That thing is always jacked up. I don't get good afternoon. Good afternoon. Trying to fix this thing again. Did we lose that? I don't know. Let me plug this thing in again. All right, let's see if I carry. Yeah, I got the 4K. Let's see. Can you hear me? Can you hear? No, I'm back. Okay. Nicole, I actually got the Brio 4K, but the problem is if you use 4K stuff, you've got to be 4K enabled all the way through. Okay. You got to be 4K enabled all the way through. And I'm not. And I'm not 4K enabled. The big problem I have is I've got a great 4K monitor that Jen got me for Christmas. I got a beautiful Brio, B-R-I-O, which is the top of the line for Logitech, which is the 4K one. But I'm using a 2005 Lenovo, 2008 Lenovo, maybe 2010 Lenovo computer. So that's my failure. Yeah, it works in 1080, but I can only drive 720 on here at the current time. Yeah, you're a good-looking guy, Cesar. Of course. I think you're very handsome. They're releasing 8K. Yeah, I'm not sure about 8K. I mean, when you start to, I'm not sure if the human eye goes up to 8K, and you can imagine YouTube just fucking screaming at the storage requirements for 8K video. I would not be surprised if they capped that on, because the size of the files in 8K is like exponentially larger than 4K. 8K it's a studio fantasy. I just don't think it's worth it. Hey, Tasha. Yeah, some people, average people are only going to be like C480 and all that. How you doing, Colleen? Hey, Princess Fairy. Nice to see you, Tasha. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, most human eyes can't see 4K. Ellabella says I want 8K. You can actually see some 8K that's downscaled to 4K now. It's out there. They have the Red RED cameras do 8K, some of the Alexa 8K, some of them. But you have to be a real video geek to enjoy that. Okay. So, I mean, it's just, YouTube, how much, just the size of the files get so huge, and YouTube's going to have to compress them anyway. And when they compress them, you're going to be seeing maybe a compressed 4K anyway. I don't think you're going to get. That's why professional filmmakers go over to Vimeo and do their upload on there, because they don't get the compressed effect that YouTube does due to the size of the storage. Well, happy birthday to you, Ravens, on Monday. That's cool. Doing my taxes, and when I get a check, I'll take you to get your nails done. How about that? my ugly hands. Anyway, back to Nicole. I'm really glad to see her. I'm really glad to see her here. I never tell Nicole what to do in life, but I do value her friendship very much. As I said yesterday, she has a lot to offer down here. She's been around forever. She constantly yearns, I think she fights an internal fight that she wants to reach a higher standard, but yet she knows most of us are mired down here in the BOYT by choice, not because it's a totally negative thing. And I think that she's often at war with herself. Like, what does this say about me as a person? I want a higher performance for myself. I want more. And she can grab more. But we're all down here slogging away on the BOYT, or the droid as they call it, the drama and the BOYT. Yeah, she's a class act. She really is a class act. I know oftentimes I embarrass her and other stuff, but she is a class act. Yeah, whoever wrote Nicole back into the script. Right. Writing her back in. Yes, she makes content. Yeah, she makes content. I want peace. Yeah, well, I'm selfish. I like a Nicole Green that's in there battling like a mofo and batting heads. But anyway, it's great to see her back. I'm getting a lot of my phone has been blowing up. My mail, obviously, Norm F. who is Norm F, and why did you bring him into the script, and why has he jumped from Elvis to you, and what's going on? What's the master plan that's happening? Did you know Norm F before? Do you think he's going to do chargebacks? Why do you think Norm F donated to you? I mean, I cannot tell you the volume of mail I've gotten in the last 12 hours related to Norm F. And you know, I'm kind of like you guys. I'm at a loss. On the one hand, I'm not the kind of person to ever question anybody, as you guys know on YouTube. Well, we're intellectually curious about things, of course. But how you doing, 60s? Yeah, we need the t-shirts. Who is Norm F? Who is Norm F? Yeah. 411 Info Centers had no idea. What's the number? There we go. Norm F likes to clone pictures. Well, I'm not sure if Norm F does or people like to clone Norm F. But people are saying, Rosie, prepare for chargeback, blah, blah, blah. Look, I don't live my life in fear of, you know, I'm not dependent. You know, I have taken steps over 46 years to provision my future. I mean, it's nice when people support stream content when you're out on the road. Then your cost structure goes up astronomically when you're doing your road stuff. But I'm saying otherwise, you know, if chargebacks hit, it's not gonna rock my world. It's okay, you know. And I'm just saying, anybody that thinks that they know, they really don't know. I don't know. You don't know. There's a couple possibilities. One of them being that this is a guy that has a lot of assets at his disposal. People that have talked to him on the phone, Beta Boy Elvis. I think some other people did on YouTube. Maybe Elvis did too. That he's a guy that sold a business and retired and wants to jack some money around YouTube. In which case, what can you say about that? Yeah, I know, Sean. I'm going to address that in a minute. Yeah, I don't think it's chargebacks. Stickers, I agree with you. I just think he's a guy. He been on my channel for a couple days. I've interacted with him. And I think finally last night when I was on the stream that he really enjoyed the content and he decided to make some very outsized tips last night. So to me, it's best not over analyzing it. Like, I think he's the real deal. Admit it. Normal is my older brother, and he is filthy. Norm's your older brother, and he's filthy rich. It's like an episode of Stranger Things. What are we supposed to do, right? Tomorrow I should be down in Oakland, but if the weather's funky, you know, may not be. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you enjoy, but I'm broke. You know, there's no quid pro quo, which is I scratch your back, you scratch mine. You put things on a voluntary basis. You don't come out and badger and beg people to contribute. But if it happens, it happens. It's a nice thing. But don't expect, and this is my only caution to Bergs, and we're friends, is you cannot put the cart of tips before the horse of content. Okay? Honest to goodness, you can't, you know, it's not like Rene Descartes, I exist, therefore you should tip me. It doesn't work that way, to paraphrase. I exist, therefore I am. It's like there is no I exist, therefore I should be tipped. Just existing on YouTube is not a raison d'etre. It's not a reason that people are going to tip you. I did because I wanted to show you that I'm a friend and try to encourage you to do original and more content. Okay, you have to make the initial investment. You cannot say hey Eric, you cannot say you gotta pay me money first and then I'll go do the content. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. You know, people aren't going to do that. People are content driven here on YouTube. Now you say I play guitar and that's cool. And if people want to tip on those things, that's all great. But I'm just going to caution you, if the driver now of content is to tell people to tip you, you're probably going to run into a lot of headwinds of resistance on your channel. And you could create instead of goodwill, ill will amongst people, because greed never carries well here on YouTube. I don't have any control. Elvis doesn't have any control. You don't have any control over what people do. We put our content out. We don't know who in the hell is sitting behind these computers, on these cell phones, watching our content. We exist because people allow us to exist. Therefore, they've already taken the first step. They're already watching you. Do they owe you anymore? No. As bad as that might sound to you, they don't owe us anymore. Just being there is the only requirement of YouTube, and the only requirement for being subscribed to the channel is just being there. Well, I did, easy. That's nice, Colleen. Great. Well, you know, it's why I kind of feel like I feel a little bad for Uff, because Ufta feels like she puts her tips or support where she wants it to be, but she doesn't sign up, how you doing, Ufta, for the blowback of it. So I told Uff to take the rest of the year off. I told Eclectic Domestic, take the rest of the year off. Okay. RV Davis says, I'll never make money on YouTube. It's a hobby, doing videos, live streams, so I'm good with a local Phoenix songwriter. That's cool. It's all good. I'll note that in the next season, strip spoilers, gonna be juicy, divorce, murder, cross-dressing cats. Stay tuned. I'll tell you, when you got Nicole Green writing your scripts, you got the absolute best of the best of the best. And I'll do whatever Ufta says. If she says, Rosie, I want to use you as a pass-through for Berg, that's fine. I mean, I don't care. You know, I really don't. That's fine. Like I say, when the mods are tipped out by you guys on my channel here on a monthly basis, I take the tax myself. I take the tax hit on that. And then what they do with that is their own business beyond that. You know, that's their own kind of deal. So wow. Okay, Vegas Vixen. That's a little hard to come down. Yeah, Ufta's nice, and I don't like to see her even put herself in a position where she has to justify to anybody what she does with her own hard-earned money. So I just tell her, with all due respect, you've done great for me. Very happy. Thank you. You know, be elegant as you are, and just keep being a positive presence here. That's a real, you become a, what would you say, a model for the ultimate in good behavior and support here on YouTube. I'm going to try to find that comment, but I think Joe King saw it. This is why at first there would be chargeback would be coming. Mrs. Chooching on the bike and solving crimes in the hood. Do you actually watch murder? Sure, don't put Rosie in those situations. That's what I'm saying. So, a lot of people have money in the RV community, might get them at Travis. I think traveling community will really take off. I do too. I think traveling is a powerful, extremely powerful attractant for growth on the channel. I've noticed just as a result of yesterday's stream, you know, almost 50 new people have jumped on overnight because people like to be out and about. Being home is cool, but it's like I tell Nicole, the day you go out and visit the Chinatown in Manchester and do some of that video, that's really cool. And then you get kind of reinforced a little bit because although your subs are gone, your super chat still works fine. In other words, once you've qualified for your bennies on YouTube, they don't get taken away. You know, so go out there and bring the content. What color roses do you like? I adore the deep red roses. I think are beautiful. Like on the Four Roses bottle, they're beautiful. Just a standard beautiful red rose. Yeah, keep trying with YouTube. I am Nathan. Nathan says, so are you going to do or go live in Oakland again? I have International Boulevard in Oakland is an extremely long, measured in miles. Okay, it's an International Boulevard in Oakland is very long. I started out at the safer Berkeley sort of end of it. Okay, just to get my sea legs down in Oakland. So I wouldn't be immediately in the deep end of the pool, just in case. I mean, we're talking about a street famous for drive-by shootings every weekend, murder, mayhem. And although the murder rate is down in Oakland, it's still significant. There's still significant risk for being out there. Okay. So I want to get a flavor for the people. I want to get a feel of how bad is it really out there. And the initial thing was really good. Okay. James gave me a beer. So a few people charged me on camera, but when I told them it's YouTube, they're okay. You know, they kind of chilled out. A lot of people don't like to see it. I know Chooch Beverly Hills. I did do Beverly Hills. Jody, it's up there. But I'm going to tell you this, Jody, nobody gives a flying F about Rodeo Drive, flying a drone over Beverly Hills, which I did. They did enjoy Jed Clampett's mansion on the Beverly Hillbillies, and if you haven't seen that on the Rosie Murphy channel, check it out. But Jody, the reality is people want to see things that they rarely see in life because, number one, they're too smart to do what I do. They have a keener sense of self-preservation than some old crow down in a abject poverty area. And people are curious about how other people live, but they want to do that from the safety of their home. Rosie, don't go down that alley. Well, people want to see what's down that alley, and we see some very interesting things. And hey, how you doing, beautiful Vanessa? And yeah, I like cheap ramen and beer. That's right, Nicole. I'm going to ask Nicole to marry me. Hey, yeah, how you doing, Oz? Nice to see you, honey. Woo, woo. So I want to say, you know, Jody, I love you. I know, don't put yourself at risk. Yeah, Blake said, I want to watch Rosie shoveling food. I'm wondering when the first parody, Elvis and I side by side, you know, it's showing our eating habits. Hey, Shannon, I'm trying to be better. Close your mouth, Rosie. It's like you got a front end loader shoveling that shit in. So I want to just say, hey, how you doing, RV Radio? If you want to see Beverly Hills, there's my videos are out there, but I'll tell you, nobody really watched those streams. Okay, they don't really care about that content. They know what Gucci stores look like. They know what Versace stores look like. They know what Tiffany's looks like. They know what the Beverly Wilshire Hotel looks like there. And I will be down in LA in April. I may be rejigging a little bit of my initial travel. But I will be down in LA. I might be staying at a hostel. I don't know. You'll have a chance again to see Rodeo Drive. You'll have a chance to go through Beverly Hills. But I'll tell you, you're going to be bored. There you go. Minored in English in college. How did I know that, hipster? Because of the way you go back and correct your grammar if you make a mistake. If hipster heaven makes one little asterisk, one little semicolon, one colon, one possessive shoot, she goes back and fixes that. You'll have a chance to see Rodeo Drive. You'll have a chance to see Beverly Hills, but I guarantee people are going to be bored out of their skull. Unless I tell you this is the place, we're going to choose Marilyn Monroe's death house. Or I'm going to show you where Charles Manson committed his, it's going to be content that has to have a spin. This is where the great comedic actress Thelma Todd died in a garage in the 1930s, asphyxiated. Right? I mean, all those kind of things. This is where the great, can't remember, Maria Dressler, the most famous 1930s comedic female actress you never heard of. This is where she lived her last days. Or this is where, the Three Stooges, they did their 1929 Academy Award-winning short comedy, the first one ever given, called the Stairway or whatever, where they're trying to deliver a grand piano up 10 flights of stairs and all the hijinks is that, those kind of things. But otherwise, if you just, hate Ashbury, but if you do the kind of things of isn't this house beautiful or isn't that house beautiful, people just get bored out of their mind. How you doing, Liberty? People just get bored out of their mind with that content because the story's not good enough. And the story, as Casey Neistat says, the story trumps all. Doesn't matter about your camera equipment quality. You should try to have good sound. People will watch lousy video quality, but they won't put up with sound problems. But if you have a story to tell, this is why I always try to investigate history and look into things, or show people what's going on. I think Narce's calling me. I'll talk to him later. I think we're getting set for next week. Let me see. Let me just turn this down. Let me just turn that on for a bit. Thank you, Shannon. What was the neighborhood in LA that Manson lived in? It's up in the, I think it's up in the Hollywood Hills, and it's also, where Sharon Tate was murdered. No, it was Narce. I'll call him back in a little bit. Yeah, I mean, Cassidy's, I don't want to say she's born to the purple, but she knows what Beverly Hills. She's like, I'd rather see Oakland than Beverly Hills, because Oakland is a world that few of us, I have a high degree of comfort in that kind of place, but few of you would tromp around and get that pit in your gut when somebody starts walking towards you and they're probably not happy. And you've got to try to diffuse that situation. And I do carry the big size pepper spray just in case. The Leaving Neverland. Yeah, I think it's two guys. I don't know. I know that a lot of people have already started to pull merchandise, Nicole, related to Michael Jackson's life. Okay, there's been some canceled products. There's been some pulled sponsorships from the family estate as the result of that documentary. Okay, and I'm saying a lot of people will be talking about that coming up, and it's not a surprise, Nicole, to us who grew up basically with Michael Jackson beginning in, well, since we're the same age. We would have been exactly the same age. Okay, born the same year. I mean, few of you remember. Let me just double check on this thing and make sure. Welcome home, Jen.
Thank you.
Okay. Back in 1972, long before most of you, hey, how you doing, Trish? Long before most of you were even thought of. I remember in junior high school listening to Michael Jackson's song called Ben. Ben, the two of us could look. Most of you probably never even heard of that. Released in August of 1972. Okay, this is how far I track back with Michael Jackson. And then by the time he did the Thriller and came out with that and kind of split from the, it's a good song. It was very early. It's the one that sticks with me the most is my introduction to Michael Jackson. And let's face it, he's another guy that grew up in an abusive family situation where the people in the family, the kids in the family were treated like a meal ticket out of Gary, Indiana. Okay. And the family rode that horse hard. Now, do I think that, did I ever think he was abused in, thank you, Jen, in a sexual way by family? No, I do not. But I do know this. How you doing, Sherry? But I do know this. He was deprived of his childhood. And whether you like it or not, you will never be denied your childhood, because if you have to recreate that in older life, you will do that. And when you create that childhood, recreate that childhood, you will want to surround yourself with people of that age group. Hence my theory of why Michael Jackson got associated with sleepovers, with boys, the sham marriage to Elvis Presley's daughter, and all that. Okay? I really think the lack of a childhood, because the one thing that still haunts me today, and you guys are going to be shocked about this when you hear this, I vividly remember, because I was a bad kid growing up. I mean, I'd be in school, kindergarten. I was the kid that couldn't sit still, the one the teacher had to chase like a Benny Hill all over the classroom, run out of the classroom, down the hall, up to the second floor, third floor, up the steps, call the janitor, get the principal, and pretty soon there's a whole line of people chasing you up and down, out to the parking lot, the schoolyard. So I wasn't allowed to do finger painting. And to this day, I still feel like I have that gap missing in my childhood for that 2 weeks where those kids were finger painting away and making those goofy 5-finger turkeys. That I still relive that today, don't I, Jen? Huh? Don't I relive that today? Where in the hell is that? And there it is. Even fucking today. Every year I get a Thanksgiving turkey. There it is. Turkey for sale, baby. I just sell my own. There it is. Put that damn turkey right there. This is the weird stuff that happens in childhood. This is the weird crap. Because why? Because I think that you were so freaking impressionable at that age that everything hits you in a super magnified, they go finger something. Oh, shit, Nicole. F you. I'm going to grab a cup of coffee real quick. Go finger something. That's good. Woo! Go finger something, baby! Nicole told me, go finger something, baby. Go find something and finger it. That's it, baby! Woo! Go finger something. Binga banga boinga, binga banga boinga. Binga banga boinga. Woo! All right. Oh, man, those clouds are coming in. I hope I'm going to be good to go tomorrow. I can take a little bit of rain, but not a ton of it. Let's see. My mother raised me. I just think like this, guys. I think like this. Growing up are probably the first 16 years of your life are the most impressionable, and probably for the time you can first be cognitive. Like, I mean, I was 5 years old. It's hard for you guys to believe. That's what an old bat I am. I was 5 years old when Kennedy was assassinated. And I remember vividly, my first real childhood memory was watching his funeral on black and white TV in November of 1963. So that's age 5. So you can imagine what kind of impressions you take in if you're in a horrific family situation or abuse, and then you get to 14, 15, and maybe you feel awkward around girls and you don't know how to relate to girls, and maybe you relate better to guys, and then you suddenly start to branch off onto that path. But I think all that period has to be recreated. And sometimes I think like Elvis have to try to relearn how to communicate and how to talk and how to form a relationship. And it's just that carries through. Should do some body painting. Wouldn't that be cool to go out on the street just wearing body paint? You see that, but I've got a little extra. We're not going there. Stop it. Stop. Plus my top is so large it'd be obvious I'm not. You can paint on whatever the hell you want, but 38DDDD is going to kind of be out there. Just wanted to get action from all parties. There we go. Hagerstown. All right. Make it a turkey neck. But I'm just saying some things definitely stick with you. Some things definitely stick with you. You see something. All right. Let's see. Script writing. Let's get to this thing about script writing. I've said what I had to say about Norm. I'm very grateful for the generosity and sweetness of Norm F. And I just want to say again, thank you very much. Who wouldn't say thank you? But just remember, if you try to put the cart of tips and support before the horse of content, you're going to have a big problem. Okay, Bergs, I like you. We're friends, but that's my best advice to you is forget about the money. The money will take care of itself. The support will take care of itself. Free your mind from the goal line and worry about advancing the ball down the field 90 yards from the 10-yard line to the other team's goal line first, okay? Hey, Mills, how you doing, sweetie? Okay, right now you're on the 10-yard line. You got 1st and 10 and 90 yards to go to the goal line. Okay? Money was never talked about on my channel until late 2018, 2019. That was basically 6 years after I started the channel. And then only because I started doing live streaming did people began to be interested. That's what I'm saying, Jody. You've got to be able to grasp that. You know, and Elvis has an edge in there. Whether you like it or not, there's certain people that do support that edginess, that craziness, that poking the bear. And there are some people vested in that happening. It's not from somebody, quote, an enabler, somebody that puts cash money in there. Because I don't apologize for watching anybody on YouTube. That's long gone now. That ended 3 weeks ago. So I don't do that. I don't wear that mantle anymore. Hey, Buff, how are you? Okay. I mean, I'm going to watch the stuff I want and go where I want, just like you guys do. Okay, I got a right to be there. I got a mouthpiece on me, just like you guys do. Bergs feels entitled. Well, that's what I'm saying, Sean. If you run with that mentality, you're going to never advance the ball down the field. Because the first thought of people is, what's the first thought of people, Sean? The first thought of people is, this guy just wants my money. This guy isn't willing to put the content on the table to then passively allow whatever happens to happen. I feel very offended when the first call is a cash call for money just for being there. We don't pay people just for showing up on YouTube. Sorry. YouTube doesn't pay you. YouTube makes you jump through the hoops. If you want to be a content creator, you got to get to that 1,000 subs, and you got to get those 4,000 watch hours as a first hurdle. Then when you get that, then you find out it takes another year till you get a $100 deposit in your bank account. Now, how many people are, now it's year 2. This is why when people say, oh, Rosie's all about the money, I would have never survived 6 years if I did it for money. I did it for passion and fun and joy. But don't ever assume people in the side chat, and this goes for Elvis, don't assume people aren't wise enough to see through and understand if you're doing stuff just for money, it's going to be transparent to people. Let money be the passive, unspoken thing out there. And if people feel motivated, Moot Bergs, that was great, man. We went to see Jimi Hendrix grave, or you took us to the bridge where the trolls under the bridge. Do something. Do something. Now, the upside is, as YouTube goes forward and there's less people being monetized, if you think of it as a big pyramid, probably 10% of the YouTubers, as in most business, pull down 90% of the money. Okay? The Peter McKinnons, the Casey Neistat's, the Jenna Marbles, those people, they probably pull down 90% of the money. And the other 10% of the money's fought over by 90% of the people. It's just the nature of the way things work. But you do have an advantage now. If you do get monetized and your whole reason is to just make money on YouTube, which I think you'll never have the wherewithal or the mental capital to see that through. You'll give up. But if you do, YouTube is cut off the very bottom layer of those below 1,000 subscribers. They're not cutting the tiny checks every month to people. Theoretically, there may be more, but you never know. YouTube's rules and conditions change anytime. They might come out tomorrow and say, you know what? We're not monetizing your videos anymore. It's up to your fan base to carry you now, right? Why do you think they're pushing people to have Super Chat and to have Streamlabs and to have Patreon? Because it takes the pressure off of them. Tucker's surgery was yesterday. He did an update, Vegas Vixen, and he did very well. He said it was a 1-hour procedure, and he looked great, and he looked happy, and I'm happy as a result of it. Sponsorship is where the money is made. I've turned down tons of people. Glasses, shoes, all that. I'm not interested in that stuff. I can't tell you guys, I really like this lipstick when I look like the wrath of God. Semper Fi, Yujiro. Or I really like these clothes when I'm banging around in a sweatshirt that doesn't even have the damn things of gone. If you want to sponsor me, right, gonna be, Steel Reserve Beer sponsors Rosie O'Kelly in the Hood, right? Or, what the hell? I don't know, some freaking third-rate knives or, Colt weapons, the best you can have. Or Stacy's Cat House for the ultimate pleasure experience gentlemen's club, right? Tell them Rosie sent you. No, Vegas Fiction, it was actually the implantation of a pacemaker. Okay? And pacemakers are very routine now. the implantation of pacemakers with positive, negative, and a neutral return on there for your specific heart muscles and everything, just to kind of jolt you and give you a shock there. Okay. More like Cymbalta. There you go. So wigs, makeups, bikinis, you could sell a joke. There we go. Thank you, Shannon. Yeah, Cymbalta. Isn't Cymbalta like a antidepressant? Is that right? Antidepressant thing? I don't know. I'm not on any. I'm a drinker. Thank you, honey. You could promote the Dorito bikinis. There you go, Thelma Lou. Actually, I've helped sell a hell of a lot of those things. I'll tell you that. But you got to be a special kind of gal. You know, people enjoy seeing Rosie home, but they like to see Rosie on the beach sporting that mofo. All right, so just let's close up this script writing. I'm doing good, Sherry. I'm transitioning over to, you know, travel beginning in April, and I'm looking forward to that. The only downside is the weather just refuses to cooperate. Well, Raven said to doctors I would have a pacemaker by the age of 17. Wow. Sorry to hear that, honey. Yeah, don't get yourself shivved or something. You know, young, yeah, thank you, Nicole, for being quick. I don't have that stuff. Young dreads, those kind of comments will never see the light of day on the channel. Yeah, get a floor mirror for your next show. You got so much hate mail. Why did you get hate mail? Vegas Fixing. I mean, you don't have any problem with Tucker. Tucker doesn't have any problem with you. I mean, I know Tucker's not happy about, you know, that we just like Vinny and Dave, that we relate to Elvis, but put it in your blacklist. I actually have it in there. That's why it got held for review. Nicole, I have that in my review list. So that's why it got stopped before it was posted on the outside there. And usually I can catch them myself. Are you driving across the northern road? Susie, I'm going to be doing the southern route. I think I'm going to be, instead of going to Florida initially in April, I'm going to enjoy the warmer weather and nice weather of LA and San Diego, and I'm going to be around that area down there. I will get set up. I might be staying at a hostel. I just don't know what I'm going to do. Might have a simple Airbnb for a couple weeks in West Hollywood, something like that. So I'm just not quite sure. Yeah, I'm saying there's only one person Tucker doesn't like that I know of. Just saying. I still think if you added a van build to your travels, you'd be a better success. Happy Meal, let me tell you what, brother. Once I get on the road, I'm not worried about people coming on board. When people travel, they get tons of subscribers following them along. Yeah, thank you, Uber Goober later. Yeah, I appreciate that, honey. It's awesome to see you. Hostel? I don't know if you want to be, you can't really video too much in a hostel. You got to respect people's privacy, but you do get to relate with other people. You do get to, if you're like me and you're an extremely social person and you're out there, then hostel's okay, but don't get ripped off. Okay. That's the big risk. Come to Tijuana. Yeah. Take care, Davey. Come to Tijuana. Yeah, van builds. I don't know. I don't know if I want to take time doing a 6-month van build out, as opposed to just getting on the road and starting to make content. That's the difference. Hostel. Didn't any of you see that movie? Woo! Okay, take care, Kim. Take care, honey. Just don't go to the donkey show. I've been to Tijuana a lot of times, but I've not been down there for 10 years because of all the fighting that occurred on the streets. Finally, the federales have brought that under control. Remember, there used to be gun battles right on the street of Tijuana. You know, actually, hostels are for adults. They're for all ages. They're for there's a channel, Gabriel Traveler. He's about 40, 42 years old. All he does is stay in hostels out there. It's fun. Consider doing the van build. Yeah, I don't know, Happy. You know, wouldn't it be nice to have a rig that's built out, like a nice pleasure way, a wide body leisure travel or something like that? Uber goober lady. Small batch, Ms. Audrey. That's small batch stuff. I'm really hurting for the drinking. I'll tell you, this is day 3, and now we're on the weekend. It's going to be interesting. I have the baking tonight and then a later hangout as usual. I did pick up some O'Doul's and some St. Pauli Girl non-alcoholic, so this should be very interesting. I hate myself so much for giving up drinking for Lent. You know, I'm just shaking my head with a weekend here and just thinking, oh man, Hong Kong Club in Tijuana. I might have, I might have. You just subbed to somebody who picked up an old Snap on tour. He's going to build it out. Yeah, you can see, what the hell's his name? Paulie Wonderbread. Paul Barger, B-A-R-G-E-R. He has a bread truck that he converted to an RV. Paul Barger, B-A-R-G-E-R. You can check him out. Drink vodka. It's from potatoes, so it's real. Oh yeah, I don't know. I just I love drinking a lot, but I'm giving it up for 36 and a half more days. There could be a chimp incoming. I don't know. I mean, Elvis is on there last night talking about, you know, Rosie's hangouts are shorter now because she doesn't have alcohol. And there's some truth to that. You know, when I drink, I have a lot more fun. I'm not crazy. I'm not a mean drunk. I don't rip everything off. I mean, I'm just a happy person when I do that. Give up beer, drink booze. There we go. Yeah, I think I already feel a little better for not I was saturated every day with alcohol. I mean, I could easily be on a hangout and drink eight beers, sometimes 9 beers easily. And then sometimes I would get the bourbon out and go for that. Yeah, you drink coconut rum on occasion. That's nice. Well, I've been drinking coffee, but I don't overcompensate for not drinking with that. That baking hat just ain't gonna be staying on this. So sneak around the corner and hammer down, man. BOYT makes me drink. If you chimp out, please save it for Elvis. That's funny. That's funny. It's not easy, you know, but that's what Lent is supposed to be about, giving up something that's really something very meaningful so that you feel like I'm stressing out a little bit with that beer. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Hey, John, how you doing? You know, I'm definitely feeling out of sorts. I mean, when you sit down and do a hangout, one of life's pleasures is to just drink beer while you're doing it. And then tomorrow night, when I go back to Oakland, to Chinatown, to have another nice dinner at the end of the Chuchin, to think about not having a beer is a very difficult thing. To go out tonight and not have a beer for Friday night restaurant, that's another difficult thing. What's up, Elvis? And you're just in time, Elvis, because now we're going to get to the part. Let's not get it twisted. Okay, I heard what you said last night on your hangout. Number one, I want to thank you again for for, I don't want to say paying it forward, but paying it back a little bit. You shocked the hell out of me last night by making that, giving that tip last night, paying your taxes. I appreciate that. That was something very meaningful. Okay, because that's something I've not seen you do before. Okay, that floored me, and it floored Missy Jenn so much that I put that in the thumbnail of that video. Well, $10 cornholio. It's not. Hey, how you doing, sweetie? Got Miss Fairy Garden here. Oh, thank you, honey. I appreciate that. A beauty queen she is, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna try to stick with it. I hate to fail when I do something. Thank you, honey. How sweet of you. How sweet of you. But Marshall, you talked about how you've paid your taxes with content and you being on my channel. You got to remember, man, let's not get it twisted. We're probably equal in each other's channels and things. And remember, Marshall, I took the time to come out to Chicago. I probably worked 10, 12 hours on your rig. You know, you've come to Las Vegas. You've enjoyed Bobby's hospitality, my hospitality. You've enjoyed the times that you have been on the channel. I've enjoyed the times I've been on your channel, but let's not get it twisted, okay? Let's not get it twisted. What happens on here, on streams and things like that, is a tiny fraction of what goes on daily on my channel because I've got so much content. Did I spend my days going back answering comments from videos from 2014, 2015, moonshine videos, metal detecting videos, restaurant reviews where people ask me re-review, or the restaurant owner gets in touch with me and asks me if they can use this in their web, incorporate that into their website. People looking at some of the gun videos, people looking at the baking things, questions about, did you use this? What temperature? This is such a tiny fraction of the daily view of my channel. Okay. Everything I did here, I built on my own on here. Have I enjoyed the friendship? Of course I have. You know, it's not without its, you know, it's painful. It's not without its pain. But what I'm saying is we're probably on equivalent ground. So let's just not get it twisted on here. Okay. I mean, that's the reality. Do I hope things get even better in the future? Of course I do. Am I grateful that you stepped up and gave a tip yesterday? Yeah, you floored me, man. You absolutely, positively floored me. And I thank you publicly for that because that was astounding to me. And I don't want to get Joe King all, you know, Joe King will roll, you know, Rosie couldn't stop talking about that. Okay, so it'll end today. It'll end today. Okay, I won't mention it again. How you doing, Joe King? Nice to see you. But it was quite nice. And I have to say, I have to give a thank you. Oh, thank you, Princess Fairy. Thank you, honey. Vegas Fixin', thank you, honey. Princess Fairy, hashtag Princess Fairy. Thank you, honey. Vegas Fixin' says Rosie's the hardest, most dedicated person on YouTube. You know what, Vegas Vixen? But I never have felt like I've ever worked a day here on YouTube. To me, it's been total and complete fun and enjoyment. Thank you. Thank you again, honey. Yeah, Elf says, I know what you're getting at, Rosie. However, a kind deed doesn't deserve ass pats. Yeah, I'm just saying, it just, I'm lost in this Leaving Neverland. I'm telling you, Oda May, it's bad. And I talked about that earlier, my experience with Michael Jackson going all the way back to 1972. Okay? It's bad. That's going to be a game changer. That's going to be a huge game changer. What do I think about Vinny G? I fucking love Vinny G. Not everybody's cup of tea. But Vinny inspired me to be me. He inspired me to be me. He gave me the courage to just say, chuck off all the crap about, Rosie, stop worrying about who you watch or where you go. You be you. And that was a hell of a gift. Vinny doesn't co-sign the shit I do. But Vinny, at the end of the day, knows that it's YouTube. It's not real life. Nobody's going to come down to Vinny and I'm a G's house and rent a bulldozer and take their house down while they're in it. He'll be safe. Probably nobody's ever going to ram Marshall's van and wreak violence on him. This is YouTube. We have all kinds of people that do bad shit, do crazy stuff. Me. I probably offend as many people a day as he does. But I took that lesson from Vinny G. And now I don't apologize for doing my own thing. And I've tried to push that along, and I've tried to push that onto some, like Nicole. And just say, honey, you be you. Whatever you want to do, do it. You go where you want to go. You're not accountable to anybody on here for anything. You be yourself. And I think from here on out, I think Nicole's going to be happier for that. And that makes me really happy about her. I don't know the backstory. I don't know how the last couple weeks have been or month. I know that she was pressed to the point where she wanted to leave YouTube forever. And that really hurt me like nothing else on here. To think that I could lose somebody that just meant so much to me, just in a blink of an eye. And I think she's going to be stronger for that now. And I think that she's going to tell people, I'm going to do what the hell I want to do. I'm going to go where I want to go. I'm going to be friends with who I want to be friends. And it's not a begging to be friends with me, but just to say it's kind of a coming of age of enjoy yourself on there. I'm just saying this. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. So if you haven't seen The Leaving Neverland, sign up for the 7-day HBO freebie. Watch it if you want, if you feel so inclined to cancel it afterward. But I'm saying Michael Jackson's life makes perfect sense to me as a child that was used as a meal ticket out of Gary, Indiana. Okay, and as a result of this documentary, people will not feel the same way about Michael Jackson again. There's already all types of sponsorships and things that are being pulled and killed probably by the hour here. But in the end of the day, it's not all of we're a product of our environment, we're a product of our upbringing. Michael Jackson, as I said before, had no childhood whatsoever. None. That family saw him as a meal ticket and worked them to death to put an act together to get the hell out of Gary, Indiana. No childhood. The older kids had a childhood. Jermaine Jackson, you know. Michael Jackson didn't. Your childhood cannot be denied. It can be delayed. Even for 40 years, it can be delayed. And that's what happened. And I think in the case of Michael Jackson, you will have your childhood one way or another. And along with that childhood comes playmates of a like age at the time that you stopped being a child. You want to be around those adolescents and to have the sleepovers and to have that, but your adult nature takes over. To me, it's very sad. And we see the end result of it is that you start taking the propanol and all the can't sleep because you have a tortured mind. Well, that's true, Oda May, but we're always fighting our nature, you know? That's the basic problem, I think. What do you know personally about MJ? Like I told you, my first experience with Michael Jackson was when he recorded Ben in 1972 or whatever. And I was in ninth grade, and that's all I ever heard on the radio. That was when I first became aware of Michael Jackson, and then saw him on Bandstand and Ed Sullivan, the Jackson Family, and then the Jackson 5. Well, Susie, it could be BS. I don't know. But why would somebody be that locked into recreating a childhood with the creation of Neverland? To what end? Well, I'm just saying, Chili May, everybody's got a lot of rethinking to do. Hey, Luna Moon. I feel sorry for him only in the sense that he had a non-traditional upbringing, which could probably be considered very abusive for a child. Do I think he was loved a lot? No, I don't. Do I think he was used a lot? Hell yeah. Hey, James. Why would a person create a Neverland? To what purpose? I sure as hell wouldn't. My Neverland would be, hey, I bought the Playboy Mansion and I got 17 gloriously lovely chicks. Hey, Glenn. Except I wouldn't call it Neverland, man. I'd call it Always Land. Rosie's Always Land. The fallout for Michael Jackson's estate is going to be tremendous because it's going to revise the way that people think the legacy. Because people will have parents and people will have a very difficult time trying to explain to kids what the problem is. I think his music will be diminished. And probably in a period of years, they'll be no longer the king of pop and all that. So, always for what? It was a joke, Thelma Lou. Chicks on demand at the mansion, right? That's, I was just joking. It was a different era back then. You guys were all most of you are a different generation. And it's just that people didn't even, parents didn't relate to kids. The kids were more chattel back then. They were like I don't know, if there was an opportunity to make money, then some parents just pursued that and nobody else thought twice about taking a switch to a kid or taking a belt off. I mean, my old man had no hesitancy grabbing a belt and wailing off. You couldn't even think about doing that. Man in the Mirror does have a difference. It's going to make a lot of people sick, that thing. It's going to be shocking to people. It's going to be absolutely shocking to people, and it's going to rewrite exactly what that is. But I remember that era, and I remember parenting back then. All about the money. That's right, impatient. All about the money. It's like I've always contended. In my opinion, men are extremely boys are extremely difficult to raise, and it's probably getting harder today than ever. I think it really is. Things were so defined back then, the difference between men and women, and the way society, the expectations, things were so cut and dry. I look at women today, and they seem to be the ones that are advancing and physically becoming much more dominant in size and just in physical stature, and men seem the same. Yeah, that coffee needs a bump. Well, Vegas fixing, they're easier till they get older. Then I think you have more challenges. Exactly, Chili May, because people allowed it, period, because it's hard to say no to such a significant person. Italian ice. It's just the expectations of how do you teach a boy today in the world, and to deal with his natural inclinations. Take care, Alabama. Jimmy Seville, yeah, it just happens, Nicole, because people are vested in the money train, and you don't want to stop that. Yeah, that's what I think. So thinks women have caught up in the times, no discriminate. Exactly. But it still requires quite an adjustment on the part of, I think, males in particular to that. So it's definitely, it's all anybody's going to be talking about coming up is that documentary. It's going to totally change everything to do with his legacy, his future stream. I'm sure. I don't know. It's who owns. I don't know. Didn't he buy the Beatles, Apple Records, Beatles catalog, and all that? So yeah, I hear you, joking. I don't really know how to feel about that, to tell you the truth, joking. But This is definitely going to be a big thing coming up. I mean, it was just the only thing I can tell you guys in some ways that today's a more open era. In my days growing up, I mean, there would be like, you would have a person that was a drunk in your neighborhood, or maybe an alcoholic, or maybe somebody was a child abuser and served time or something. And then, or you had a guy that was like a creeper in the neighborhood, but people would just warn you, stay away from them. Or, you know, maybe the parish priest was a little off, but people just like, oh, don't talk about it. You just don't talk about it. You know, you wanted to just close your eyes and pretend that it didn't exist. Hey, Dano. Nowadays, there's much more light cast on things. And I think human nature is sometimes exposed at its worst now. So we have to be careful we don't rush too far the other way and deciding that everything is just shit today. And yeah, the football coach, I mean, for years, Cobra John, of course, you know, there'd be like, when I was in high school, I went to all boys high school, public high school, one of the last ones around. And you'd go to have gym class in wintertime, and they would teach swimming. Well, hell, man, all the guys would just strip down naked, and we would just go into the pool and have swimming lessons. And who in the hell knew? You know? Could you imagine that today? It's unthinkable today. But at that time, it was the way it was. We didn't think a lot about it. It was a much more trusting society. So there was much more potential for abuse. Yeah, I mean, now it's the other way. We can't trust anybody. It was a different time. That's right, Cassidy. So abuse ran rampant at that time. The potential for abuse was raging at that time. It is a heavy subject matter. No, I enjoyed gym. I enjoyed athletics. I didn't care. I didn't care if I was dangly bits were out or not. I had a good time. I learned how to swim and was an outstanding swimmer. I didn't give a shit about anything. I wanted to get the hell out of class. I didn't care about gym. Oh, shit. I mean, at that time also, guys, remember, we could smoke. I was smoking in high school. There was a certain area. It was called the quad. You could smoke in the quad area. You could be 15, 16. Ain't no big deal. Everybody smoked. Beer and chilled glass. Thank you, Happy. You know, keep talking about alcohol. Swim stream gone on in a new script, Rosie. I think we kind of have a pushback now that we're probably underdoing on disciplining kids and things today, and we're seeing the price be paid for that. That you can't say no, and can't raise your voice to a child, can't put your hand on a child, spank a child. So, yes, I smoked at lunch too, Dan OB. I started smoking when I was 14 years old. I took binder paper and took my old man's Carter Hall pipe tobacco and just rolled it in. If you ever saw the movie Diner with Kevin Bacon, that church where Kevin Bacon was laying in the baby Jesus's crib, I used to be right up on that roof of that church, smoking my rolled pipe tobacco cigarettes up there. I'd get dropped on. My mother would drop me off at school. It looked like I'm walking up the school walkway. Just as soon as she took off, go the other direction, right down the alley. And one day she showed up like Kojak, ran up that alley in that car, and welding shop and smoke. We did all that. Hot metal shop, just lighted smoke right off of the right off whatever the hell we were forging. I know 60s. It was just a different era. Yeah, sorry to hear that, Sherry. Shauna. No, they didn't know the cigarette. They didn't know the effects of cigarettes. Just starting to know at that time. Nobody really cared, you know. I mean, when I was the drinking age, got peeled back to 18 when I was in college, and you know, it was just, hey Kev, how you doing? Anything rolled. Doesn't matter the day and age. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and yeah, I always got in trouble. I was always a discipline problem. Always. Every time they had parent-teacher conferences, I was always, you know, my mother just dreaded going to talk to the teachers. Yeah, I was popular in school. If you're small or you're small in stature, you have to kind of compensate in certain ways. And I was lucky I was pretty athletic, so I was also a class clown. So making people laugh was fun. Sean. Oh boy, did I get the strap. Yep. Yep. Everybody smoked in their cars. Nobody could. Ashtrays in cars. Who knew? Secondhand smoke. What the hell is that, right? Drinking Friday nights, everything. Parents would have a party. Hey, you want to bartend? Of course, you know. Well, Susie, I've got we got Friday night. I may do a street stream later. I don't know, but I already have. I'm already going to be having. Going to be making soft pretzels for teeny weeny bikini baking tonight. I've got the dough already gone for soft pretzels, so I'm going to be making them tonight. And then I have a later hangout. It's going to be interesting with that beer. You can smoke in grocery stores, anywhere. I started smoking when I was 14. I quit when I was about 30 for 2 years. Then stupidly, I started smoking again. And I finally quit when I was like 49 years old. So, keg parties, all that.
They used to smoke in hospitals.
We said anyway. I mean, my kids were born in Hong Kong at the hospitals in Hong Kong, and they had a specific area for dads waiting, and everybody's smoking like crazy. Nobody gave a shit.
In the station,
you know,
they had just a sitting area where you could smoke.
That was old days. You think I could be with my wife when she's delivering? Are you? Oh, booyah, boo, 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 bushing in Chinese. You can't. You got to sit with all the other expected dads sitting there. Doctors were some of the heaviest. Doctors were some of the heaviest. Shannon, I actually bought some O'Doul's, and I have some St. Pauli Girl non-alcoholics. So we'll see how that goes tonight. That should be interesting. Should be interesting. Yeah. I got some of that. I really like beer, Shannon. So I might crack one of those bad boys right now, see what the hell it tastes like. Let's see. It's not like I'm going to get wolfed up. Let's see. Okay, this shit's from Germany. This cost me $7 damn for a 6-pack. This is St. Pauli Girl, N.A. Why don't we give this a whack here? See what the hell this tastes like. Oh shit, I hate that, man. Germans haven't discovered twist off caps. My first impression, it smells like cat pee. You know, my first impression, it smells like cat whiz. I don't know. Oh, it's the smell on your clothes. I don't know. Bought it, I'll drink it. We'll see. You know how it is. Yeah, it smells like yeah. It's I don't know. We'll give it a whirl. Brewed in strict accordance with the German purity laws of 1516. Wow. Happy Meals like Rosie, it's nobody's business if real beer ended up in those non-alcoholic bottles. You know, you guys would know if I was drinking. You know, that's it. That's it. So tomorrow, I hope I'm on the road. It just depends if the weather's supposed to have some rain. How do you brew fake beer? I guess you make your distiller's beer, Joe King, and then you just distill the alcohol out of it, and then bottle up the mash. You know, it's basically what it is. Just switch to wine. Yeah, there you go, Beryl. You know, people laugh at me. Janet, my best friend Janet's so pissed because I'm a beer lover in the middle of the America's premier wine industry. Thank you, Shannon. Drink it and hop along on your choose. There you go. Heading back to Oakland tomorrow for part 2 tomorrow, Patreon. I hope to have another nice Chinese dinner tomorrow night, and I hope to go into the more, we're kind of going into the belly of the beast tomorrow, to the more risky areas tomorrow. Okay, take care, Nicole. Love you, honey. Take care. Hey, Kiwana. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by, Nicole. George, who is that? Huh? What are you barking at? What are you barking at? What the hell are you barking at? I don't know. No, I'm gonna try a different. I'm gonna try a different Chinese restaurant this time, Patreon. Maybe pop into a Mexican place. I don't know, but it's a different. we're taking it up a notch tomorrow. So we're probably not gonna have anybody offer to give us a beer tomorrow. That's all I'm saying. So we'll try to have some street food if there's any down there. I might be dodging raindrops. I don't know. It's like a 50% chance of rain tomorrow. I should be there about 2 o'clock or so. So it's kind of hard to, it's an hour drive time, hour and 15 minutes down there. That's interesting, Patreon. All the Chinese restaurant cooks are Mexican. Hey, how you doing, Andrea? No? Oh, thank you, Blonde. I appreciate it, honey. We just goof around a little bit. Yeah, I'm going back to Oakland. It's just me I can't take Jen down to Oakland. It's too, just simply put, it's too dangerous for her to be in Oakland. Whole sit-down dinner from the dollar store. That's interesting. Oh, no, you fell yesterday. Sorry, honey. I don't mind eating anything. I rarely get affected stomach-wise. Well, we're going down to Fruitvale tomorrow, which is the heart of International Boulevard. That's where they have the shootings on the public transportation, and the cops are always battling the locals there and all that shit. So quit babying Jen. No. I have a duty to protect Missy Jenn. I cannot, nor does she care to be in those type of situations. So she'd be very uncomfortable wheeling down to the railroad tracks where people have set up their tents and things on the other side of the road, and all of a sudden somebody comes charging us. I don't want to put Missy Jenn in that situation. Give us a bake-off in style, baby. Well, Jen's decided she doesn't want to go, so that's it. So she's like, I ain't going. Okay, take care, Vegas Vixen. See you, honey. Yeah, I'll be doing an after stream tonight, so we'll have some fun. You can tell me how much I'm enjoying my non-alcoholic. Yeah, I'm looking for. Yeah, it'll be interesting tomorrow. Just got to be careful. I'm going to try to get all the way down to the old Quaker Oats factory down there. I think they're still producing Gatorade down there. I'm going to try to get all the way down there. Who knows how it'll go? I might turn back and have an alternative. Then when it gets dark, maybe we'll run up to the beautiful Mormon temple that sits high on the hill in Oakland. You can see it from all over the place down there. Does it taste non-alcoholic? It tastes like a German beer to me, which is good. I mean, it tastes decent. Doesn't taste bad. So yeah, no guts, no glory. Well, I can't take Jen on those trips. I don't ever want her to be in a position where her life could be in danger. Yeah, 14th Street and Fruitvale. So I basically stopped at 14th Street before, so I'm gonna start there and then go down. I got to remember where I parked the van, though. That's the challenging part. Yeah, wasted calories. Oh, it tastes okay. It is what it is. Vegas Vixen, it is what it is. Marla was in here earlier. She was very sweet. Miss Fairy Garden was very encouraging. Stick with it. Yeah, I'm not taking Jen. I cannot take Jen. Yeah, I will, Blake. I might go back to the same place. I don't know. Take Jen to Paris. She can't sustain the flight. She cannot sustain the flight. She cannot travel like that. She will be seized in position. And then what do we do? Even in, she could do a hop to New York, but then beyond that, by the time, yeah. Yeah, it's a bit like decaf coffee, I think. So, did you ask her what? Jen wants to go take her. Well, Jen's, she can answer herself. I mean, she just locks up. When she locks up into position, then what do you do, right? You have to be physically carried off the plane and uncrumpled in a hospital. So. She's like, I ain't gone there either. There you go. Okay, take care, Sean. I'm out of here in a couple minutes anyway. I think Missy Jenn and I are going to go out and get some sushi tonight. So, no meat on Friday. Actually, I think we're going vegan tonight. We're going back to one of our worst vegan experiences to see if it's any better.
We're going to the
Don't tell them.
I
think gave me gas so bad last time. I felt like a gas bag. It was so bad.
I'm gonna watch you eat.
Man, oh man, oh man.
Actually, we're not gonna do the buffet. We're gonna have.
I'm not doing that buffet, man. That was raunchy as shit. I'm not doing that again.
We're gonna have a sandwich.
It looked like regurgitated meal after it had been digesting for 2 hours. Anyway, guys, thanks for being along today. Love you guys. See you this evening.